there. President Trump is firing back at French leader Emmanuel Macron over his critical comments about the president's embrace of nationalism. Tonight, correspondent Kevin Cork from the White House tells us what's really behind this dispute.
They're all saying what a great relationship we have, and they're actually correct.
Like so many breakups in life, theirs also appears to have been because of money.
We want to help Europe, but it has to be fair. Right now, the burden sharing has been largely on the United States.
But France's unwillingness to fund NATO at the suggested 2% level of GDP before 2024 isn't the only factor driving a wedge between Presidents Trump and Macron, men who at one point appeared as close as any of the world's leaders.
Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism.
Macron's public criticism of Mr. Trump's idea of nationalism and the suggestion that Europe needs to build an army to protect itself from, among others, the U.S., well, that was simply one punch too many. Today, the American president came out swinging, noting on Twitter that it wasn't the U.S., China, or Russia that attacked France. It was Germany in World Wars I and II. How did that work out for France? They were starting to learn German in Paris before the U.S. came along. Pay for NATO or not. Later, tweets about unfair trade and Macron's low approval ratings set up the president's ultimate right hook: make France great again. Whether the tweets hit below the belt depends on your perspective, but from any angle, the president's relationship with some of Europe's most prominent leaders has become increasingly threadbare. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, a frequent target of Mr. Trump's criticism for lack of NATO funding, agreed with Macron's suggestion that now may be the time for a well-funded European army. Ironic, considering that's what NATO is supposed to be, an alliance which hasn't seen Germany or France live up to their respective financial obligations for years.
Brett, NATO officials believe that by the end of the year, 8 member nations will meet that 2% target of GDP contributions. That includes the U.S. And while 8 out of 29 NATO countries may not sound like a big deal, consider this: back in 2014, only 3 of NATO member nations met the 2% target. Brett?